continues
All right, what is
where
going
we
on?
having our all-star matches continue. I'm joined in the booth by Colson, and we got some Chally League all-star game in here to kick us off, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I am excited to see the level of gameplay. I was able to be here for the first matchup of the night, which was the GM matchup, East versus West. And I think East was able to take that one.
Mm-hmm.
So the overall matchup today is 2-1 in favor of the East, if you're keeping track of that. And the matchup we have next is between another East and West team. Big surprise. The East is 5-7 in this match, and the West is 7-5 in this match. Who you feeling is going to take this one home?
I think Fort's the worst player in the world, and he deserves to get banned. That man is going to lose, and I hope he watches this. That is insane, Fort. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I genuinely think that the West has insane players on their team. One of them being Fort, but Stites and Nerfbot, man, inspirational players. Obviously, the East, no slouches either. I mean, we saw Critter earlier today, but we'll see if they can compete because I genuinely think, specifically Nerfbot, whenever he's having fun, he's more mechanical than half of Rival. So we'll have to see who comes out on top here. But so far, some early pressure here for the East, and I will say one thing about these All Star games, it's about who kind of just meshes well, and is able to figure things out first. And so far, we'll have to see who turns it up. But the first game always a feeler out kind of game.
Absolutely. A lot of ping pong back and forth in these games normally. And I think you said it perfectly. Whoever meshes the best will start off the hottest and give themselves the advantage in a series like this one. I love some of the names and the car designs I'm seeing, especially out from the East squad. Some Christmas lights, Santa Critter, Santa's little elf, and this touch off there, that could have been great. But I love the aggression that I'm seeing. They're trusting one another, leaving a teammate upfield, and it's leading to some early pressure. So I hope this can keep it up, or this keeps up, and we can see even more pressure from both these squads.
So far, some early pressure from this West team, but not able to put that one away was Nerf. Now it's the East with another good shot. That's two shots here for the East. And also, you mentioned the names. The clan tag for Melee is Elf 2. So they're all in on it. They're all in on it. Maybe it's helping him out here. That was a favorable bounce. Nerfbot able to get the epic save there, as Critter could not get the follow. Fortunate to get the clear, but the pressure here from the East and the good 50s that continue to come out. But finally, Stites with a kind of a lucky double there, but able to get it out of his own half. Critter popping that ball way high. Can he get a follow? Nerfbot going to stop him there. Off the ceiling, Nerfbot can't get back to it, so Zeke going to play that one to the corner. Fort trying to get it over one. It's going to be Mealy keeping that ball in the West half. Nerfbot looking for the double, doesn't get the touch. Fort back over to Nerfbot. Nerfbot over to Stites. Stites with one control touch. Mealy kind of slow, kind of awkward, still able to make the save. Fort trying to put that ball up high. Nerfbot not going. He sees three players back and decides to just take his time, but both these teams are looking for goals. I feel like the West are going for a little bit too much sometimes, and so far it's not working out for them, but a wayward touch there, a pop-up high, maybe a play here, but halfway through this game, still 0-0. Colson, who do you think's going to strike first here?
If I had to give an odds-on favorite right now, I'd give it to the East. I saw Critter and Mealy both play in a game as they try to connect off this ceiling. A great pinch from Nerfbot. This could be the strike first. I'm known for caster cursing, so whichever I say, just assume it's going to be the opposite. But Critter and Mealy had both warmed up already and won in their matchup against the West GMs. So theoretically, they should be hot and striking while the iron is, but Fort goes crazy. What a pass coming out from Nerfbot. Are you kidding me? Flip reset, Musty into a pre-jumping Fort down to the back of the net. That is ridiculous. I am so sorry for the caster curse.
Nah, Nerfbot is just a little too nasty sometimes, man. You can't give him that much time in the air. He's gonna make you pay. Fort able to get the steal on top of it, because he definitely did not deserve that one. Fort now going to try to get this one over Mealy, and he does. And that one over to Nerfbot as well. Nerfbot off the sidewall, gets a double. Nerfbot going for the bump. So is Fort as well. Stites off the sidewall, a little awkward. Critter just trying to take a control touch. Able to get that out was Mealy. Mealy trying to get a past Fort. Fort with a lot of boost and some control, but a good instant challenge there from Critter. A good shot. That one over the head, but off the post. And that ball could have been the equalizer, but instead Colson, it's going to be still a 1-0 lead, but not for long. Critter able to put that one away. A great pass here from Mealy as well, seeing that chemistry we saw earlier today.
Beautiful chemistry at that. It's a nice team play. I mean, on earlier seconds before this one went in the back of the net, there was a shot that just went off the post. And I like the pressure that the East is getting. They're looking for quick 1-2 passes, whereas the West is relying heavily on their mechanics. And honestly, they should be. If your opponents are playing like this, jumping to the ball early and whiffing, how could you not just trust yourselves a little bit more and take an easy open net on the kickoff?
Good finish there. Unlucky kickoff. But in the end, a 2-1 lead here for the West. Looking to tie up the series as it is 2-2. Or sorry, it's 2-1 currently. Stites looking to get a ball towards the midfield. Not a lot of boost to work with. Going for the 50. Doesn't get the pinch off the ground. And so instead, it should be Fort playing Disruptor once again. Off the ceiling. Fort, year too old for this man. That one, not going to get a touch on it. As Nerfbot now trying to show Fort how it's done, but he's going the wrong way. Stites up with him. A little bit of double commits here coming out from the West, but somehow the ball is still in the East half. Stites towards the backboard. That ball gets met by Mealy barely. Fort and Nerfbot fighting over the same boost. Fort wins it out, and he gets the challenge as well. Still up a goal here, so more time wasted is better for the West. Nerfbot looking for one more touch. He actually got another flip reset out of it somehow. As Zeke with a clear. Santa's Critter as he is looking for one last gift. Maybe a goal here for the East. Mealy not going to get a touch on that one. Fort going downfield. Zeke gets dunked out. 10 seconds remaining. They have one opportunity remaining here. Sight. That's a touchdown to Nerfbot. Nerfbot with a long clear. Nobody able to get there. Critter. That's a pop up high. Fort, can you put it away? Of course not. As Stites going to pop that one up high once again. And that ball finally, eventually, let it hit the ground. Someone knows they're keeping it up in the air. Fort going towards the backboard. That ball falling straight down. Fort doesn't have the double. Almost had the insane angle there, but he's just a little too old. I will be hating on him the whole time until he changes his name, by the way. Because it's crazy.
It is what it is, a name change coming in, so I'll root in favor of the West then instead of you. Nerfbot looking phenomenal in that game. He had a couple of great touches, couple of great mechanical plays, and if I'm on the Eastern squad, I would be a little hesitant to challenge him, but that's exactly why you need to challenge him. There are some plays where he's just flip resetting it over into the wall that you don't need to jump at, but there's a lot of touches where he has so much time and space in the air that you're just itching to get someone in there. You just got to send it. One of the best ways to disrupt players who are as mechanical as Nerfbot is to jump at them immediately. He might get it over you, but if you play the high and force it low for your team, it could be very beneficial. And that's what I'm really looking for in this game number 2 from the East squad. For the West squad, I think they can just keep doing what they're doing, right? It's been successful. Nerve to Fort was a crazy connection. Fort almost got a crazy double touch off the corner as a waterfall down at the very end of the game. I think they can just keep rolling with what they're doing, and as long as they're connecting, I think this could be their series.
Yeah, if they can continue to connect like that, and obviously they are friends, so they have played together, you know, outside of Nemesis before, but Mealy, he's no slouch either. And here he comes. A great shot here from Mealy. A good beat there from Zeke as well for the pass, but an early goal here for the East, and this is kind of the momentum that they've been looking for.
Fort, what a saving himself in the chat. He was just off the post and a little awkward instead of on the ground. Great placement coming out from the Eastern squad as they take an early lead.
Nerfbot with a pass from Fort almost hit the insane ceiling shot, but that ball gets saved away. Now the counterattack is going to be off target. Zeke did not want the open net, and I respect that. Not everybody wants those open nets. A little too easy here in the All-Star games for Zeke. Going to go for the full field air dribble, maybe? Nope, that one's not going to hit. His Nerfbot shot way off the mark there as Stites looking to continue the pressure here. But that ball, a great pass back from Nerfbot. Zero boost for everybody on the side of East, but still, the squishy save comes through. Fort and looking to leave that one to Stites, but somehow, some way, it hits off the post. It's still up in the air. Zeke taking his time, not panicking because that situation looked like a total mess. But somehow the ball's back centered. West looking for another opportunity. Sight shot just not good enough, and finally East are able to break out. They're up 1-0 still, and they might go up 2-0.
Oh my lord!
Goodness. Mealy gonna
There
put
it
it
is.
away. That ball off the post, off the crossbar, doesn't matter. Mealy finds, then back of the net.
That is really fortunate for the East squad that didn't bounce post and out a little bit further. Lucky that it bounced straight down and Mealy was there to capitalize off of it. But I saw something from the East earlier that they were bunched up in front of the net where that awkwardness before their own goal came. It was like no one was challenging the ball. No one's keeping their momentum and conserving it. So we're getting stacked up. And fortunately for them, they're up 2-0, so they can deal with it. But that's the you need to go for the ball mentality that I was talking about earlier, is they just pass up an opportunity.
Someone needs to step up and be that guy. So far, you know what? It's kind of been Mealy, I guess, but on defense sometimes it gets a little bit lost, a little confusing. Zeke now looking for one touch, trying to get a follow-up. Nervbot gonna be patiently waiting there in the corner. Mealy gonna get that touch, but it's straight back to Nerve. Zeke with the cut. Everybody in that corner. I saw 2 pre-jumps, and I saw everybody fall to the ground. This is absolute all-star gameplay if I've ever seen it. Stites now with the challenge, but Critter off the backboard. Mealy shot not going to come through. Zeke and Critter both don't go. That's a shot from Stites. It's off. Mealy able to make the save. And that, I thought, was definitely in, but Mealy, the hero, coming in once again. A good 50. That ball continuing to stay in the East half, but they're continuing to survive here. As Zeke with a 50. That ball bouncing back towards the midfield, but Mealy able to get the beat. As Nerfbot now with one touch. Couldn't get a follow though. Mealy 0 boost, and he gets demoed for his troubles. Critter with the great 50. That ball bouncing mid. That ball kind of awkward. Nerfbot, not a whole lot of boost. Just jumps at it. Zeke with the shot, but Fort was there for the save. Stites with not a great 50. That ball bouncing straight down. Nerfbot 0 boost, still able to make one touch, but still not out of danger quite yet. Zeke looking for one off the backboard, but Stites is there. The long clear. Mealy up in the air. Nerfbot, of course, he's up in the air looking for one more. Couldn't get back to it. Critter clear out. Zeke looking for a pass. Maybe that one towards the corner. That ball just gonna be cleared away. Nerfbot back up, going for the air dribble. That ball now, maybe a shot for Stites, but that shot just too weak. Mealy with one touch with 2, but Fort was there with a shot. Critter there for the save. The defense from the East, they are just shutting down everything that the West is trying to do so far.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is due to the hesitation coming out from the Western side. Not something that I was expecting. A great double touch comes out from Fort. Nerve, I guess, got called off the ball or whipped it. Regardless, leaves it for Fort, and Fort is able to put that one away. And I think, going back to what I was saying, is they need to just go for the ball. They are the more mechanical team and have showed it. And that's the reason this game isn't tied up right now. That's why Mealy was able to get that save away from a wide open net, is because this West squad isn't sending it as quickly as they should. They need to keep for that ball. And that same criticism that I gave to the East is starting to plague the West.
Just a little bit more, you know, just a little bit more recklessness is all we need, especially out of Nerf. I just need to just keep going. How many you want, Nerf? I want 3. He doesn't get a single one, though, and that ball going to be met by Mealy in the air. Zeke, he's up as well. That ball bouncing straight down. Nobody from the East is going to have a shot on that. I lied. What a shot there from Critter. Somehow able to find the angle, but it was quite an easy save there for Stites as he's able to get that ball launched downfield. Critter now with a banging clear right back. Nerfbot up in the air. Maybe looking for a Psycho. I would not be surprised, but definitely does not have that in his bag. That one is now going to be dangerously floating. 0 boost here for Stites. Stites just caught in no man's land. What are you supposed to do? His teammate got demoed. Nerfbot didn't want to go for the ball, so guess it's just a goal.
Yeah, I think the great thing that the East is doing is in some of their patience. It worries me because too much patience is bad, but right now they're in a nice middle ground where they trust that the people on the Western squad are going to drop their mechanical plays, so all they do is wait for it to hit the ground and then take it over. And it's worked wonderfully in this game number 2. But again, it puts you on this kind of a back foot where if they're able to make saves like this, it's not great, but if Nerve starts to heat up, and starts to hit these shots, if Fort continues to hit his double touches that he's hit, I think this series would be in favor of the Western squad. But right now, the West looks like their mechanics are off, and the East are happy to say thank you very much. We'll take these free goals, and we will take game number 2 as soon as this ball hits the ground.
Great game here coming out from the East, and I think, I just think the West is trying to do too much. I just saw an open net there from Nerve, and instead of shooting it, he goes for a double touch. Just simple things like that. Which it's All-Star game. If you want to have your fun, have your fun. But Nerve, you're too bad to do that. I hate to say it, brother. Like you just gotta play, just play the shot, man. Like you're good at your air dribbles, yada yada yada. But I played with you too often to know. You just don't got that in the bag. The Psycho, I respect the attempt. I can't actually hate on that one. That one's pretty good. But I mean, the East are just doing it. It's just doing it really, really simply. They're playing the game well. They're capitalizing on mistakes, and you know, all that matters is the win in the end. I actually a clip would be cool, but so far the West haven't hit any of those either. So Colson, I either want to see an absolute insane clip coming out here, or I want to see some good, solid Rocket League gameplay. And I can tell you one of those things is not going to happen.
I'll leave it to the audience to decide which one of those isn't going to happen. But right now, we see a double commit coming out. I like that the West is starting to go for the ball. But like you said, the East is happy to capitalize on the mistakes of the West. And a great 1-2 passing play comes out, relying on each other instead of mechanics. Beautiful shot coming out from the East as they take an early lead.
I'm seeing the power of friendship come on through, and the power of good shooting. What a shot there from Zeke. Santa's little elf getting a pass from elf number 2. Just, a little connection there, and it's like a toy. They're just playing with their food at this point, as Stites now with a 50. Fort, I almost said Phillips 10, and that would have been really bad, but Fort able to get a touch. Stites gonna just wait for this one. Nerfbot jumping at air, as now Fort with 0 boost, tries to go for this ball, gets 1 touch, but it's going to be Zeke off the ceiling. Zeke going quickly, doesn't get the touch, but he gets the dunk on Mealy instead. Mealy wasn't quite expecting that one. Sights down with some control, able to get the flick, but that ball is straight up in the air. Nerfbot gets a nice flip reset, but the ball only goes as far as Mealy. That's a great touch there from Fort, though, but a huge spawn from Critter, able to make that save. Mealy looking for the Cuxter pinch. That ball just going to get sent all the way down. Zeke now off the ceiling, off the backboard as well, but Fort had that ball cleared. Nerfbot towards the sidewall, looking for the double, and he gets it out to Stites. Stites is going to be there. The pre-flip, it's in! Oh my goodness, what a play there. Nerfbot to Stites, and the pre-flip bar down.
What a ridiculous pass coming out from Nerve, and what a beautiful shot coming out from Stites. That was ridiculous. Mechanical woes not plaguing them in this game number 3, and there is the clip you were talking about earlier, Flip.
Yep, and I told you one of the 2 things are going to happen, and wow, what a great shot there from from Stites. A great pass from Nerfbot as well. That's almost a perfect pass in that scenario, as Mealy hits that one off the backboard. That shot going to be saved away by Nerfbot. Hits that one to the sidewall. Fort going to get the beat as well. Mealy a little awkward, has to get a touch here just to buy some time. Nerfbot towards the backboard. Fort's going to be there, take his double away from him, as that's what good teammates do. Zeke now with 100 boost and some time. Not enough time, as Stites was in the air for an hour. And Fort now with a pinch all the way downfield. Mealy, he's waiting. That ball up in the air. Nerfbot with 1 pop. That's not a great touch. A free shot here for Zeke, and he misses those 9 times out of 10. But that time, it was on target. Just gets saved away as Critter now gonna take that one as if Mealy left it for him. Nerfbot going for the own goal. That one gonna be hitting off his own backboard. No shot coming out from the East. All-Stars here. Stites now looking for a pass over to Fort. Fort with a nice control touch, but Mealy had that one read. Zeke over to Critter. Critter with some time, maybe looking for a pass over to Zeke, but some saves coming out here from Nerfbot as Stites now pops that ball high in the air. Fort with some boost, but gets 50 by Mealy. Halfway through this game, it's 1-1. Nerfbot making some saves on defense. The East, I feel like I've cranked it up a notch. That's a great pass towards the midfield. Stites gets the beat on 2. Critter and Mealy both win, and now a counterattack opportunity. That ball, not the best pop, so it's going to be Zeke getting a full clear here. Looking for that pinch. Mealy going to be there. Nerfbot going to be there once again, but Mealy has the dunk right back. And the back and forth continues. 1-1 here, Colson. And it's been a lot of East on offense. West haven't had a whole lot of time on this side of the pitch, but with 2 minutes remaining. Someone's got to break this tie. Someone's got to hit another clip. Who's it going to be?
I think I was about to say it was about to be Mealy, but Mealy whiffs on that one and keeps this game tied. Right now, I'm a little worried because right now it looks like the East has a lot of the pressure, but they're not doing much with it. Nothing super threatening has come out so far, or at least nothing threatening enough to throw off the West. They came in with a crazy play even in all of this Eastern pressure, and now Nervbot has the chance to do it again. He is the man to look at, gets a flip reset, looking for a pass, but none of his teammates send it. And that, again, that same criticism is before. When you're not sending the ball, you can't really get a goal. Nervbot is putting absolute dimes as he gets another corner read, but they just need to send the ball. The Eastern team is doing that really well. Great midfield pressure coming out from them, but until the West is willing to commit, I think this should go in the East's favor.
I've seen one player willing to commit like that, and that's that man right there. Nerve is always up in the air. If you send him a pass mid, it doesn't matter how dire it looks. He will be there. He is jumping every time. His teammates, they're not all in quite like that, though. 45 seconds remaining. Fort now trying to make a play happen here. Gets it past two. A free net. Nervbot with not the best touch, though. Buys a lot of time here for the East team to get back, and a long clear. But Nervbot off the backboard. Mealy up off the ceiling. Trying to get a touch. Nervbot going for the full field air dribble. Gets the flip reset. Instead, going to go for the air dribble bump. Be really cringe about it. That one is an awful goal. Do not celebrate that. That is unethical hoops.
Woo! What a beautiful goal coming out on the side of Fort and Nerve. Both sending it at the play again. Nerve staying on the play, getting the bump. What a beautiful play. If you're a fan of bumps, that is. Here on the desk, we hate them. So that is not the play that we want to see, but we'll accept it regardless. That puts the West up with 15 seconds left. That's the aggression from the Western team that I was looking for. I think if they're consistently able to do that and willing to go for that pressure, again, this series should be theirs.
I will say, if anybody else scored that ball, it's a great play, but Fort was the one that put it away, so in the end, it's an awful play from the East, or sorry, from the West, and it's going to get them this victory. But Nervbot, man, an absolute, brilliant performance here. He looked kind of mechy on the pitch, I can't lie. He looked a little bit different, I will not lie. He had some dimes of passes, but in the end, it's not like they were, having all this pressure, but the East were the ones shooting the ball a whole lot. 7 shots from Zeke, and 4 from Mealy and Critter combined. There was only 4 on the side of West. It just felt like, and call me crazy here, it felt like the West played a lot of defense. Nerve has 6 saves. That's just not, I'm reading this script, that's just not what the script's supposed to look like, man.
Yeah, it was a very defense-heavy game from the West, but not anything super threatening coming out from the East. They had that one infield passing play at the very beginning of the game that was phenomenal, but after that, they didn't have much going for them. It was very slow. It was very hit the ball and pray. And I think they need to be a little bit more intentional with their plays because, like you said, they had a lot of shots, but Nerve had a lot of saves. He's mechanical enough to make those saves. So until the East finds one another like they did at the beginning of that game, I think the West might have it.
They find the sauce. It's a demo into a shot, into the crossbar. That right there is a recipe for success, just not for the right team. That West get lucky that that ball hit the crossbar there, and now they have a counterattack as Stites going to hit that ball mid with a great pinch. Nervbot elects to not go for that one. Fort, it's over your head, buddy. That one is now going to be met by Nervbot, but he doesn't get the touch either. Critter now looking to continue the pressure here. Stites towards the corner. Critter not able to get the read as Stites gets dunked by Mealy here. Mealy not able to get the flip towards the midfield. Excuse me, Nervbot on the sidewall gets met by Zeke, who I think has been performing really well. Own goaling? Question mark? I was dim out. I couldn't quite see that. Some more demos coming out here from Critter, and this is what I like to see. This is the quality gameplay from Critter that I like to see. That ball off the backboard. Critter, do you have the read? You do. What a touch there from Critter. Fort now looking for a touch, maybe looking for a follow. That one not gonna hit the ceiling, but Mealy's gonna hit it off the backboard. Nervbot last man back, and he's playing safe. This is not the Nervbot that I know. As a demo coming out, a 1v1 for Stites, 0 boost to work with. He gets bumped for his troubles, and the physicality coming out from the East And this is the kind of Rocket League that I like. Just pure physicality, ethical hoops, if you will, as Zeke now hits that one towards the backboard. A two-on-one opportunity. You're going to look for the pass. Gets the bump from his teammate into the goal. Stites caught lacking. What are you supposed to do about that one?
I don't know if there is much you can do. I love the team effort, not the way I think it was supposed to go, but it worked out anyway, right? You get bumped into the ball again by your own teammate, and that's a great team play. Intentional or not, it works. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what is at the top of your screen.
All that matters is that the West loses. And so far, the East trying to make that happen. A great team bump there into a goal. Can that happen once again, or maybe a different kind of play? Nerfbot getting the beat there, Stites in the corner, maybe looking for a pass down to 4. It was a shot, actually. Oh my goodness, Stites almost had the angle, but instead Zeke is going to have some control. Not a lot of boost, though, trying to get a pass mid, but he's passing it to a player with 0 boost as well, so Mealy, the only one with any boost, as he's able to pick up 100, trying to get that ball clear. Fort was in the air, waiting for the touch. Gets demoed, though, so now Nerfbot off his own backboard, gets one touch, trying to get a follow, gets a 50 on the Critter. Maybe looking for a follow now as he bumps Mealy towards his own corner. Nerfbot with 100 boost in the air. Gets a flip reset. Gets a double. Looking for the triple. Instead, it's going to be cleared away by Zeke. Nerfbot just could not get around that one quite enough. Fort shot going to get saved away by Mealy. Critter up in the air. One touch. Maybe looking for a flip reset of his own. Zeke's going to hit that one towards the sidewall. Stites was up. A little bit awkward here. Zeke with a quality tactical fake. You're going to see a lot of those in the next match, I promise. As Zeke is able to get a fake on one and able to get a little bit of possession here. As now Nerfbot trying to get the challenge, and he does. He was getting bumped as well, but still able to make that play. A great clear here, though, as that ball launching all the way down. But the East, not a whole lot of opportunities, not a whole lot of boost to work with. They're trying to find these opportunities so far, but I feel like the West, their third man is playing super deep and super safe. And they're not allowing these counterattacks, but still, the West is still down a goal. They have to make something happen here, and if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Nerve. Not going to happen there, though, but Colson, a minute and a half remaining. I've seen Nerfbot try to make some plays. I've seen some own goals in my time as well. What a shot here from Stites.
Yeah, he will not be given credit for the assist, but that was a beautiful pass right off of Zeke in the front of the net. A cherry-pick goal. A little bit rude of Zeke to take credit for it, but, you know, it is what it is. That was a great pinch in all seriousness, down into the net, but it seemingly came out of nowhere. The West doesn't seem to have a lot of pressure. There are moments that I've seen so far that look like... Have you ever played the game and you're just kind of like, man, why would they go for that ball? It seems like there's a lot of moments like that. Like, why would Fort die for that ball? There's 2 players on the east side sitting right there. But when you are belligerent and you just go for the ball, you find success. And I think the West is starting to figure that one out.
All mech, no brain. That's what I would describe this West team as, and maybe they need to start playing a little bit more like it. As Mealy, they need kind of a great play of their own to make a comeback here. As Stites with one touch, looking for the pass out to Nerfbot. Nerfbot gonna rob Stites of his flip reset. Stites now 0 boost, trying to go for that ball. Nerfbot gonna leave it, gonna go up in the air, trying to get one. Couldn't get the follow-up touch, though, as Stites pops that ball way high. Going for the reset, pops it over one. Does he have the flip? Does he have the shots? Not quite right off the post. 45 seconds remaining. A great opportunity here. Mealy, do not miss this one. Able to put it away. East tie it back up.
Another great team play coming out from the East. They seem to find one another at the perfect times. I love how Mealy stayed upfield, trusted that Zeke was going to get him the ball, and he did. And because they did that, they were rewarded with a goal. East are back into this game. They need to win this one to stay in this series and force a game number 5. And personally, I'm hoping for that.
Game number 5 would be great, especially because it means that the East would be have a chance to win. And you know, that's all I care about. I just want to see this Fort guy lose. That's all I care about. But he's gonna prove me wrong and score an insane shot. A great pass here from Nerfbot, an absolute screamer to the top shelf. A great play here out of the West boys, and I can't even. That's a good shot, man. Right below the cross. That's a good shot.
Similar to our casters, Fort is eating in this matchup. He's doing an absolute phenomenal job, and it is fun to watch. 20 seconds left, and the East has to get back into this one in order to stay in the series. Do you think that's going to happen, Flip?
No, absolutely not. In fact, I think the game should have ended half an hour ago. To be honest, this game should have been over the moment that I saw these teams on the pitch. I cannot lie, this West team just a little too stacked. Dissolved has been running it with nerf bots. Fort has been playing out of his mind. Dice is the best player on Samurai, debatably. I just think the West was too stacked. I think the East, obviously, really good players. Critter, my goat. But in the end, at this West team, they're just built a little different, and that's all. That's all that matters, man. You know, they're just a little too good, and I feel like they, if they were locked in the whole time, we might have seen a sweep.
I agree. There were times even in the game that they lost that they looked really comfortable on defense even though they were down, and I think that in large part is due to the mechanical ability of all three of these players. It was tough to watch because there were such great ideas coming out on the east side and even some really good ones that led to them winning a game and coming back in others. But I mean, how are you going to stop it when you have people like Nervebot hitting a crazy redirect off the sidewall down to Sights, who stays upfield, gets a pre-flip into a shot, into a goal? Like, that's just tough to beat, especially when your team doesn't have that mechanical ability. And I think the East put up a great fight, but the West deservingly tied this series up 2-2.
Yeah, and you know that's gonna be it for the Chally All Star game. Congrats to everybody that first off made All Star, whether you played or not, or just congrats to all of them. The players did also play really well. I mean, I love watching Zeke play. He played really well. Mealy and Critter. Yeah, they played twice today already. That's just how good those players are. There's quality. Everybody was playing really well. And then there was Fort. So that's gonna be it here for the Chally League. And we have the rival league up next, which always is a sight to behold, Colson, and I can't wait to play that one. So we will be right back after a short break, and we have the rival league all stars coming up next. Deuces.